قوم الكاف صدق الله العلي العظيم.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
I'll request once again sisters to please join us here in the main hall. And I keep requesting sisters, and somehow I just don't feel very comfortable requesting you again and again. Tonight the Tabarruk is for Isale Sawab of all the marhumeen whose names are written on the monument of Zahra. So I request you to please recite Alhamd once and 3 times Surah Ikhlas for Isale Sawab of all the marhumeen whose names are written on monument of Zahra. Bismillah. Nare Sarawat. I've been requested by the brothers and sisters to pray for Shifa of these Mu'min. So please recite Amayji 5 times for their Shifa. The names are Brother Nawab Ali, who is the father of Brother Fareed Himmati and Brother Sayyid Himmati, and Maulana Abbas Kumeli, who is the uncle of Sister Sumaira Dosani, and I had another name, Sayyid Munir Rizvi, father of Sister Sabat Rao, and I just heard that he's passed away about 2 hours back in Pakistan. So his Bashate Kaur is going to be tomorrow. So for Brother Nawab Ali and Maulana Abbas Kumeli and Sayyid Ali Jafri, please recite the Amayji 5 times. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amay yujibul mustarra iza da'ahu wa yakshifus su. 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 Please recite Alhamd once and 3 times Surah Ikhlas for all the marhumeen, and again include the marhumeen's names are written on monument of Zahra. You all marhumeen and the marhumeen for whom there is no one to say Fatiha. बड़ाई खुशबू दिए जनाब फातिमा ज़हरा सलामुल्लाह अलैहा बलंदर सलावत
अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद व आले मुहम्मद.
Allah request Brother Abbas Raza to recite Surah Salam. Salawat पढ़ लीजिएगा.
अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद व आले मुहम्मद.
Tonight? This Friday? What's up, man? Azim? Azim.
اللهم صل على محمد آل محمد.
جب اٹھ گئے محبوب خدا دار فنا سے ماتم کی صدا آنے لگی ارض و سما سے سر پیٹتے تھے احمد مرسل کے نواسے تعلق تھا فاطمہ زہرا کی بکا سے تعلق تھا فاطمہ زہرا کی بکا سے رات کو نہ دن کو بکا کرتی تھی زہرا بابا کے لیے پیٹ کے سر روتی تھی زہرا بابا کے لیے پیٹ کے سر روتی تھی زہرا فرزندوں کو پھر فاطمہ زہرا نے بلایا چھاتی سے لگایا کبھی گودی میں بٹھایا بالائے جبیں بوسے لیے اور یہ سنایا لو پیاروں کے ہنگام جدائی کا پایا لو پیاروں کے ہنگام جدائی کا پایا اب تم سے جدا ہوتی بطول زہرا ہے یہ آخری زہرا نے تمہیں پیار کیا ہے یہ آخری زہرا نے تمہیں پیار کیا ہے حیدر سے کہا ان کو نہ پہنچے کوئی ایزا یہ ہے میرے پیارے نہ کبھی ان کو گھرکنا اور آپ سے ایک عرض یہ اب کرتی ہے زہرا پڑھیو میرے لاش پہ نماز اے میرے مولا پڑھیو میرے لاش پہ نماز اے میرے مولا فرقت میں نہ ان دونوں کی تڑپ آئی او صاحب بچوں کو میری قبر پہ تم لائی او صاحب بچوں کو میری قبر پہ تم لائی او صاحب نازک ہے مزاج ان کا یہ معلوم ہے مولا ہر بات پہ بے ساختہ رو دیتا ہے چھوٹا ہے خوف الٹ جائے نہ سینے میں کلیجا تم اس کو میرے لاش پہ بھی رونے نہ دینا تم اس کو میرے لاش پہ بھی رونے نہ دینا سب گود میں لے مرتبہ اور آقا سمجھ کر گھڑ کے نہ کوئی اب اسے بن ماں کا سمجھ کر گھڑ کے نہ کوئی اب اسے بن ماں کا سمجھ کر یہ کہہ کے کیا بند در حجرہ اطہر سب خرد و کلان کے رونے لگے باہر آواز سنی کلمہ طیب کی برابر پھر کچھ نہ صدا آئی کہا سب نے یہ رو کر پھر کچھ نہ صدا آئی کہا سب نے یہ رو کر رحلت ہوئی بس آج رسول عربی کی لوٹ گئی دنیا سے نشانی بھی نبی کی لوٹ گئی دنیا سے نشانی بھی نبی کی القصہ وہ دن ماتم زہرا میں جو گزرا شب آئی کھلے گے سو سے دل کو پرسا حیدر نے کیا غسل کا سامان مہیا معصومہ کے ایک ہاتھ میں جو زخم لگا تھا معصومہ کے ایک ہاتھ میں جو زخم لگا تھا وہ دست پتولا خمیدہ نظر آیا یہ دیکھتے ہی منہ کو علی کے جگر آیا یہ دیکھتے ہی منہ کو علی کے جگر آیا نہلا کے جو کفنانے لگے میت زہرا زینب نے کہا ہاتھوں سے سر پیٹ کے اپنا اماں کا میرے ہاتھوں سیدھا کرو بابا رو کے پکارے یہ خمیدہ ہی رہے گا رو کے پکارے یہ خمیدہ ہی رہے گا تابوت میں پھر میاں کے زہرا کو لٹا کر سب سے کہا لو بیویوں رخصت کرو آ کر سب سے کہا لو بیویوں رخصت کرو آ کر کہتے تھے علی فاطمہ کے لاشے سے یہ بس فاطمہ بس ہو چکی بیٹوں سے ملاقات فرزندوں کی گردن سے جدا کیجئے اب رخصت بھی ہو اب زندوں کا دھا مردے کا کیا رخصت بھی ہو اب زندوں کا در مردے کا کیا چلنے میں مسافر کے یہ دیری نہیں ہوتی میت سے صدا آئی کے سیری نہیں ہوتی میت سے صدا آئی کے سیری نہیں ہوتی صاحب میرے بچوں کو چھوڑاؤ نہ خدا خاطر سے میری دیر کرو گوارا ہوئے گا میری روح پا احسان تمہارا بچوں سے زیادہ مجھے کوئی نہیں پیارا بچوں سے زیادہ مجھے کوئی نہیں پیارا معصوموں سے دم بھر میں بچھڑ جائے گی زہرا پھر کاہے کو یوں سینے سے لپٹائے گی زہرا پھر کاہے کو یوں سینے سے لپٹائے گی زہرا جب اٹھ گئے محبوب خدا دار فنا سے
برائے خوشنودی جناب فاطمہ زہرا سلام اللہ علیہ صلوات Brother Azim wants to recite a salam in Farsi. So we invite Brother Azim. Salawat پڑھ لیجیے گا.
السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ. وعلیکم السلام. فرمود محمد که علی جان من است فرمود محمد که علی جان من است به جان علی و نام پاک محمد صلوات می روی اما اگر می شد بمانی خوب بود با تو زهرا لحظه های زندگانی خوب بود ای تمام ماه‌ها خورشیدها در خانه‌ات، ای تمام ماه‌ها خورشیدها در خانه‌ات، خانه‌ام با بودن تو کهکشان خوب بود. شد سلامم بی جواب و فاطمه در غربتم، مایه آرامشم شد همزبانی خوب بود. زندگی کردی کنارم ساده و به ادعا، در کنارت خوردن یک قرص نان خوب بود. در غروب کوچه ها و در میان شعله ها، بر دفاع از حق حیدر پاسبانی خوب. خنده را از تو گرفته درد پهلوهای تو، خنده های فاطمه در این جوانی خوب بود. می روی از هوش هر دم حال روزت خوب نیست، می روی از هوش هر دم حال روزت خوب نیست، می روی اما اگر می شد بمانی خوب بود. یادم آید روزهایی را که می گفتی حسین، یادم آید روزهایی را که می گفتی حسین، با نوای تو چقدر این رازخوانی خوب بود. گر که می شد قدرگاهش پیش چشم زینبش، خالی از خول، خالی از سرخولی و شعر و ثنای خوب بود. کربلا هم گفت زینب لحظه های واپسین، ای برادر جان اگر می شد بمانی خوب بود. سلام.
اللهم صل علی محمد و آل محمد.
امشب دلم گرفت برای دلت حسن، امشب دلم گرفت برای دلت حسن، قربان بیقراری و چشم ترت حسین. امشب دلم گرفت برای دلت حسن، قربان بیقراری و چشم ترت حسن. یک گوشه نشستی و هی آه می کشی، تصویر کوچه آمده در خاطرت حسن. هر بار وقت ضربه سیلی که می رسد، خود را گذاشتی عوض مادرت حسن. ای پیش چشم تو به زمین خورد و نال زد، ای داد تا ابد نشود باورت حسن. تو بر گوش پاره او ناله ها زدی، او گفت زیر لب که فدای سرت حسن. امشب کمی ملاحظه کن آه کم بکش، در پیش چشم خواهر غم پرورت حسن. صلوات.
اللهم صل علی محمد و آل محمد.
I'll now request Hujjat Islam Sayyid Hadi Yasin to address us tonight majlis to commemorate the shahadat of Janab Sayyid Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Salawat padhiyega.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا حبيب قلوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا وشفيع ذنوبنا والواصل المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين ولعنة الدائمة على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى لقاء يوم الدين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. السلام عليك يا ممتحنة امتحنك الله الذي خلقك قبل أن يخلقك ووجدك لما امتحنك صابرة. السلام عليك أيتها الصديقة الشهيدة السلام عليك أيتها المظلومة المقصورة حقها. Our condolences on the martyrdom of Sayyidat Nisa al-Alameen, the beloved lady in Islam, the noble lady in Islam, Sayyidat Zahra salamullah alayha. First and foremost to Imam of us, Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wassalam.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.
May Allah inshallah give us tawfiq and opportunity to be among the true Shia and follower of Sayyidat Nisa al-Alameen inshallah. And let us be with her and her children in dunya wal akhirah inshallah. Today is the day of the shahadat of this lady. And when you say the best of all women in both worlds, I want you to pause and think about this. If there is a funeral of a very important person, imagine you have two friends, one of them is a good friend, the other one is a very important person. You tend to go attend the funeral or the majlis of that person because the characteristics, the personality, the iman of that person is different. When you say she is the best of all women, said by who? By the Prophet of Islam. Said by who? By Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for sure. When you see yourself, you're attending the majlis of the best of all women. We should be very proud of ourselves. That I have this much, alhamdulillah, opportunity and tawfiq that I can attend the majlis of the best of all women. So I know her. I'm proud of myself that I know this lady. Because many people might not know the importance of her and her, absolutely position in the world. And in Akhirah. So. The true Shia, we keep saying, there are those who follow Ahlul Bayt, even in their moods, even in their personality, even their happiness and sadness would be according to happiness and sadness of their imams. So imams are not only for some spiritual advices, but for every part of life, personality, interactions with others, how to live in this dunya, even you regulate your emotions based on the emotions of Ahlul Bayt. Because their emotions are not based on their personal emotional. The emotions are based on Allah's satisfaction. They don't get happy or sad because the way that we get happy and sad. As soon as we get a little bit of this dunya, oh my God, we're so happy. As soon as we see that we're losing some part of this dunya, we start getting sad and depression and anxiety. They're not like this. Their happiness and sadness is based on the happiness and sadness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We're going to put it this way. If I want to see the mood of and the feelings of the Imam of our time, which each community in different eras, they have to look at the Imam of their time specifically to see what they're supposed to do. If you want to see the feelings of your Imam, the Imam of time today, look how he's feeling in the musibat of his mother Zahra. The same Imam that I mentioned in the last Fatimiyya, that he said that she is my role model in my life. Imam Baqir says,
Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.
Again, I want you to pay attention. Who said that? Imam, infallible. They don't talk based on their emotions and desires. He said, anyone in this world comes to us when they have hajjah. We are the hujjah of Allah. We are the representative of Allah on the earth. If someone has any physical sickness, they go to who? To this Imam, to that Imam. Please help us to ask Allah to cure us for the sake of this Imam. Imam Zahra said, when we have issues, specifically said, when I have a fever, look at this. Imagine Imam Baqir is somewhere, you have someone who has fever. The Imam just take it, look at this person, or give him something that would be the shafa. Imam says, when I have fever, I put my hand on my forehead and I say 3 times, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Ya Ummah, Ya Fatima. The shafa of him comes from the name of Fatima. Amazing. Of course, when she is the role model of who? Let me tell you why, psychological. Let's discover it. In family, fathers are very important. Okay? But the one who influence children mostly are who? Mothers. Because they spend the majority of time with their children. That's why mothers are more attached to who? To the children more attached to their mothers. Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein technically as children. Imam Ali is very important, right? Yes. But most of the day he's outside, he's taking care of this and that, and, social aspects. They are growing up by who? Their mother Zahra. Let me tell you some shocking news. Amir al-Mu'mineen, after Rasulullah, he is number 1 from all aspects in this dunya. Taqwa, knowledge, ilm, bravery, anything in this dunya. If it was not in the Surah Kafi, I couldn't tell you. Amir al-Mu'mineen says sometimes I come home, I tell Zahra, you tell me about the ilm of ma kan, ma yakun, ma huwa ka'in. Inshallah you get this is the highest level. You tell me about the knowledge of what was going on before, what is going on now, and what will happen in the future. And I will write it down. Zahra, she was saying it, this ilm, and he was writing it down. The Khatib was Amir al-Mu'mineen. The one who was producing the knowledge was who? Sayyid Zahra. That's why we have the Mus'haf of Zahra. One of the secrets of Imam, I'm revealing some secrets for you. One of the secrets of Imams is the Mus'haf of Zahra. And now is in the hands of who? Imam of us, Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam. There is the ilm of imamah in that Mus'haf. Mus'haf is like a tablet, like a book. The ilm of imamah is in that Mus'haf. By who? You're sitting in the majlis of not a regular person. Another proof. Throughout the whole universe, there is only one Sayyidatu Nisa al-Alamin. We have many great ladies. Musa, the mother of this and that, and Asiya, and a lot. None of them are to the level that the Prophet of Islam, number 1 in the whole universe, in this dunya and akhirah, in the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he bent down and he kissed the hands of Zahra. Just think about this for a second. Imagine, in the TV, you see your marja bends down and kisses the hands of his daughter. Now, also, it's not even comparable, right? You are saying that, oh my God, in front of everyone, what kind of lady is that lady? Rasulullah, that he doesn't act based on his own desires. He bends down and kisses the hands of Zahra. So you're sitting in the majlis of this lady. Only one lady. You have a lot of stars. 124,000 prophets, 12 imams, Rasulullah, only one lady. If you turn it on, I will appreciate it. So I don't want anyone to fall asleep. Turn it on, please. Only one lady among all these stars. Only one lady among all these stars. We know that Allah doesn't do anything based on what? Just randomly, let's do it this way. There's definitely some reasons and hikmah and wisdom behind what Allah is doing. When you look at this, Allah could have 2 or 3 of these ladies at the same time. Only one Zahra sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. There's some hikmah and reason. I'm going to take that, to go to this topic. That how much Islam is paying attention to the position of ladies and women. That the mother of 11th of your imams, the most important people in this universe are who? Imams, the mother of them is who? Say this. Just look at this. when at the time that no one pays attention to women at all. And up until today, one of the accusation against Islam is that Islam is oppressing who? Women. The power of media, propagation, tabligh, huh? Islam is oppressing women, poor women, oh my God, what's going on, what's this and that. Let's talk a little bit. This is one of the most important topics that has been alternated so unethically and unprofessionally that affected the thoughts and the minds of a lot of people, that Islam is oppressing. By the way, let me clear it up here. Disclaimer. We're not talking about any region in this topic about women in Islam. We're not talking about any country. We're not talking about any group of people, what they think and what they do about women. We're talking about Islam. What Islam is saying, what Quran, what books, what Hadith is saying about what? The position of ladies and women in Islam. Let's talk about this, see what's going on in this. Because it's important. We're sitting here because of the maqam of this lady. You have to understand. Many times that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi he's respecting his daughter, he's respecting his wife. Part of it, yes, because there are these important people. The other part is this time that he's teaching us how to do it. He's teaching us like any other things. The same that the way that he was praying, he was like, follow me. It's like, follow my sunnah as well, right? Sunnah of Rasulullah, the tradition of Rasulullah. How he did it, what he did, and you have to follow that as well. The 4th chapter of Quran is what? Suratun Nisa, named after woman. All recommendations about them, the importance of that. And it's specific. This is a very academic discussion. I want to look at this. You're going to take advantage of this, inshallah. Later on, you go outside, you hear a lot about these allegations and this accusation. If you pay attention to this academic discussion, you're going to learn a lot, inshallah, so you can defend the haqq and truth. So, and in almost many other surah, 10 surah, he's talking about the rights of women. Rights of women, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do that. Up until Islam, whatever I'm saying has been proved, and you can definitely go, and I want you to research it. Before Islam, there's no name of woman in any laws, policies, or anything constitutionally. There's no specific section in any laws that defends the rights of women. That these are the rights that you have to do, you have to pay attention to them. Matter of fact, I really apologize to my sisters. It's an academic discussion, you know. If I use some terms that has been said, inshallah you forgive me, it's not an insult to you, inshallah. On the other side, before Islam comes, even after Islam, those who did not follow Islam, they consider women equal to objects or na'uzubillah, animals. I really apologize. It's just academic discussion. I have to say this to see the horrible part of it. Up until today, it's been brushed and it's been painted different ways that people cannot see it the way that they're supposed to see it. Islam believes in a very crucial role for women in the society. Before Islam, when I said before Islam, that happens even after Islam, up until today, like I said, those who are not following Islam. Islam said that women are so important in the family, in the society as well. It is impossible that you remove the role of a woman, a mother, a lady in the house or in the society, and you want to have a healthy society. That's impossible. That's why we have a lot of recommendations about what? The role of men and women in the society, how you're supposed to act. On the other side, on the secular perspective and world, is talking about what? Not only women they did not have any rights in their own house. In their own house, I'm going to prove it. You know, when I claim something, I'm going to prove it. You know me, it's academic discussion. Not only they didn't have any rights in their own house, let alone in the society. They didn't believe for any rights for women. I have a list of things, inshallah, I want to go through and tell you what happened. Islam says, number one, there's no priority by creation. There's no priority, says male and female at all. Quran. We already talked about this in Thursday nights, if you remember. إِنَّ أَكْرَمَكُمْ إِنْدَ اللَّهِ أَتْقَاكُمْ. The only reason you can say who is better than other one, the one who is closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. By creation, there is no one. Ayah Quran says, إِنَّا خَلَقْنَاكُمْ مِنْ نَفْسٍ وَاحِدَةٍ. We created you from the same soul, same material. If your material is the same, there's no priority over creation. There are differences between men and women. You know that. There are some differences. Women are good in certain things, some skills. Men are good in certain skills, right? But there's no priority to say, no, this person. That's number one. The priority goes by what? The level of taqwa. The more you follow Islam, the more you follow Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the better you are. Until the look at this. Until the if you want to take a note, that's important. Until mid-19th centuries. I'm talking about the most modern country, United States. Look at this. Until mid-19th century, women, they did not have any right to, any legal rights, to own a property, to sign a contract, to represent themselves anywhere legally at all. They didn't have any of this. When I was writing my thesis, I had to do research about this stuff because I was talking about families and I had to do research, all peer-reviewed literatures, and I want you to go research as well, inshallah. Peterson, 1997, this has been written in this article as well. 1848, New York was the first state that allowed women to what? A married woman that they can own a property. Less than 180 years ago. Look at this. Less than 180 years ago, that New York was the first, 171, right? 171 years ago, New York was the first state that allowed women to own a property. Look at this. And look what Islam is saying. 1,440 years ago. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Surah Nisa, ayah 7. Let's go letter by letter. للرجال نصيب مما ترك الوالدان والأقربون وللنساء نصيب مما ترك الوالدان والأقربون. For men, there is a share in what the parents and nearest kin have left. And for women, there is a share in what the parents and nearest kin there left for her. And at the end, be it small or large, this is determined share that is belong to them. You can't take it away from them. 170 years ago, New York, the first state, that just allowed, let's review to see if women can sign a contract to own a property or not. 1,440 years ago, Islam says what? They have what they have and they have to give it to them. Until 1960s, banks had the option and rights to refuse giving any services, giving any credit cards to women without the sign of their husbands. 1960, we're not talking about 17 something, 1960s, right? What Islam said? Whatever they have is for them. We can't take it away from them. Yeah, Islam is oppressing women, huh? Let's hear more shocking news here. August 18, 1920 was the first time, 99 years ago, less than 100 years ago, the first time that they allowed women in the United States to start voting. They couldn't vote before that. 1,000. How many years ago? Less than 100 years ago. Well, all this movement, woman movement happened because of all these oppressions, right? 1,440 years ago, Islam gave the right of voting to who? Women. By what? Oath of allegiance. Bay'ah. Rasulullah is going to do the bay'ah, right? He's saying, brothers, give me the bay'ah. Shake my hands. Sisters, you can't shake my hands. Put a bowl of water. I'll put my hand in the water. You put your hand in the water. So that means you're doing bay'ah with me. You know what that means, bay'ah? Bay'ah means I vote that you be my leader, literally. If you don't shake hands, that means I don't agree with that. Why they force Amir al-Mu'mineen by burning the house of Amir al-Mu'mineen to come and give the oath of allegiance? Why? What was so important? You're supposed to vote for us. If not, that means, oh my God, we're missing a big part here, right? Qadir Khum, the same thing. Men and women, they should come and vote. Less than 100 years ago in the United States, they didn't have the rights to vote. Islam is oppressing women. All right. Okay. You know whose fault is it that they are saying these things and people believe in it? You know whose fault is it? Tell me. No. Me and you. First me and my colleagues, because we don't talk about these things. When it comes to these topics, only this ayam, we only talk about Zahra, oh yeah, she was a very good lady, mashallah, let's go. And you that you didn't know, or you knew you didn't know anything about this. Because I go to my social media, I talk about anything in this world. Today I saw a kitty who was walking. The other day I went to the bathroom. The other day, you know, some people, every single thing they do in the day, they put it in social media. But I couldn't post one thing like this to promote it and to tell people in the world that this is Islam and what is Islam promoting. Before we blame anyone, they are doing their job. Don't blame anyone. Let's blame ourselves. It's very easy to say this is their fault. Oh, media are doing it. They're doing their job. What are we doing? Huh? What are we doing? Princeton and Yale, until 1969, they did not let any female woman to go study there. Harvard, 1945. All these brand, great names in the universities. They did not let any woman to go study in the university. Islam, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, 1,440 years ago. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. طَلَبُ الْعِلْمِ فَرِيضَةٌ عَلَى كُلِّ مُسْلِمٍ وَمُسْلِمَةٍ. Learning, knowledge is wajib, fariḍa. Fariḍa is salat al-yawmiyya. Fariḍa is for every single man and woman in the world. Islam is oppressing women. All right. We're living in the era of knowledge, right? We should have these academic discussions. We have to be able to defend these things academically. Just Google. You know where I got these things? I Googled. I didn't go heathen secret books open it. No, I Googled it like you guys right now. You can Google it. Matter of fact, multiple times, because I speak publicly, this lecture I had it in Loyola University in LA. It's a Christian university. Even part of the admission is that you have to be a Christian to be admitted. I gave this lecture over there. You know that I'm supposed to be very definitely do my research, not over there. Someone comes and says, no, that's not. That when they invited me, the professor invited me and says, you're the first Muslim scholars we could invite in this university. We had to get permission from the president of the university to be able to invite you. Islam is oppressing. Okay. Let's continue. Salawat ala Muhammad wa
Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.
Divorce is one of the most emotional topics in Islam. That is the most hated. Qanun and rule in Islam is what? Is divorce. And Allah hates this rule. The only rule that Allah specifically hated is what? The only halal is what? Divorce. Because He doesn't want that to happen. But we should have it. Sometimes that doesn't work, right? Sometimes it's good. But it's not something as soon as after 2-3 weeks it's not working, yeah, we're not good for each other. You know, I knew that from the beginning. MashaAllah, so good. A lot of things are going to shock you. Look at this. Quran is talking about divorce. I said that before here. In part of England, I was studying it. I published it in my. This is, you Google my name and my articles. It comes out as well. It's peer reviewed. Part of England, when they wanted to divorce their wives, now I definitely apologize. They were putting a rope around their neck, pulling them towards bazaar and the store publicly, and were selling them as the divorce. Recently. Islam, 1,440 years ago. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. At-talaqu marratan. Let me go with the English translation. Divorce is twice. Then either you return in all fairness, after when you divorce, either you go back, raju, you retain in fairness, or you release it nicely. You're not supposed to oppress anyone. It is not lawful for you to take back anything from what you have given to them. Look at advises. This isn't Quran, it's not even Hadith. Unless both apprehend that they would not be able to maintain the limits set by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now if you apprehend that they would not maintain the limits set by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there's no sin on them in what she gives up to secure her release. When you want a divorce, very nicely, very respectfully. I want to literally read some parts with all the respect. It's an academic discussion from Christian text. I want you to pay attention to this. And I apologize ahead of time again, from sisters because of some terms that have been used. These are not my terms. I literally got it from the text. Saint Thomas Aquinas is one of the greatest saints in Christianity. I'm going to read it literally word by word. As regards the individual nature, apologies. Woman is defective and misbegotten. For the active force in the male seed tends to the production of a perfect likeness in the masculine sex, while the production of woman comes from a defect in the active force, or from some material indisposition, or even from some external influence. The Prophet of Islam bent down, kissed the hands of Lady Zahra. He said, I smell heaven from you. When Lady Zahra, she enters the house, the room, Rasulullah, he stands up for her. Not only because it's Lady Zahra, because that whole creation has a lady. Another famous saint, Augustine, right? You heard about this. What is the, I really apologize, what is the difference, whether it is a wife or a mother? It is still Eve, the temptress that we must beware of in any woman. I fail to see, and then he continues, I fail to see what use woman can be to men if one excludes the function of bearing children. I really want you to Google these things. In Islam, 1400 years ago, it talks about women. You cannot abuse them. You cannot, take their rights. You can remember the hadith on Thursday night, one of the Thursday courses that we had. We talk about this. The hadith came to Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Said Jibreel came to me, started recommending about the rights of women to me and my wives. He keeps saying, don't bother them, make sure you have observed their rights, and all this going and going. In the hadith said, I showed it here, the hadith said, Rasulullah says, I was afraid, I thought he's going to say, I can't say off to my wife. Off in the Quran, for the mothers, right? For parents. I thought he's going to say, don't say off to them. With this description about. But it's not in Islam. There are many other things I can't, I'm ashamed of reading. But these are the best part that I found, please. I could read it publicly. There are many parts when it comes to certain days during the month. Impurity, get away from them. They are evil, blah, 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 so and so. Islam is saying that it's just difficulties for them. The problem is, like I said, the community, Islam Muslim community. Because we didn't do these things. We didn't do research about these things. We didn't talk about these things. We didn't publish these things. When it comes to, the school things, I don't have enough courage to talk about these things. I'm always humiliated. What if someone says, why you have this? Why you praying? Why you have this? Why women in Islam is I'm so humiliated to talk. Why? Because I don't know what's going on in Islam. Because I don't have information about others to say Islam is the one who gave the most important rights and attention to women in the world. I don't do it. And we're still not doing it. The only function at our centers is that Dua Kumail, let's go there, let's not Muharram and Sabah, let's cry for Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam, done, mission, khalas, let's go home. Then who's supposed to defend Islam? Academically in the era of education. These are all important. We know that. The Masa'ib of Ahlul Bayt. Reviving the Masa'ib of Ahlul Bayt. The reason we're sitting here, we can talk about this, is the Masa'ib of Ahlul Bayt. You know my orientation towards these things. I grew up in the Majlis of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Technically I can tell you, I grew up in the Majlis of Imam Hussein. This is I remember. One small tear from Majlis of Ahlul Bayt, small tear has the capacity to wash out all the sins that you have. But that's not enough. This is not the only thing. They want us to internally be together, do something, Allah khalas, let's go home happy. Then who's supposed to defend Islam in this time? That when all these medias are, media are targeting Islam, so we have the Muslim scholar among us, not that, I'm not talking about the scholar this way, no, a PhD from this school, a master from that school, a lady from this, they can target and says, excuse me, you're doing wrong. Let me tell you, I was at the school when I was studying, and psychology is full of these things. And my professor, she was teaching, I don't know what topic was that, something related to child development. And she was teaching the course for probably 35 years. She was very respected, very great and well-named she has, and I really respect it. Great knowledge, mashallah, in this aspect she had. She said, yeah, Rousseau is a German philosopher. For the first time that he says human beings are not born with original sin. In 19-something. I was like, excuse me, I have a question. But I know someone way before Rousseau, he said the same thing as well. His academic, environment. As soon as I said, who? So I was wrong for all these years. He says, yeah, who? The Prophet of Islam, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I love this about academic, environment here. She was so happy to hear that. She was so amazed by, oh my God, I didn't know that. He says, yeah, it's my fault that you don't know. I went to the doctor yesterday with my daughter. Amazing doctor. I love her, mashallah. Amazing with my wife. And she came to shake my hand. I said, I apologize. She said, how can I never encounter this? She was an Indian doctor. So how can I never encounter? And she knew a lot of Muslims, by the way, a lot, because she knew, she was asking, when did your mother, convert? She knew a lot about Muslims. She had seen it. Why I've never encountered this? I've seen all these Muslims. What should I say? It's my fault, probably. There's no one. Where the problem is coming from. To know these things, to be able to defend these things. Once you have this information, if tomorrow any of our children, our youth, at their school, they're saying anything, accusation about women in Islam, specifically our ladies, excuse me, no, that's not right. That's not right. This ayah, this hadith, this, no, you're not right. Let's correct our, curriculum or anything, the text that we have. But if we don't know, we become what? Humiliated. Can I hide? So no one can tell me, oh, by the way, your name is Muhammad or your name is Zahra. So tell us what's going on in Islam. What did I say at the beginning of my lecture? Disclaimer, what was that? Who remembers? We're not talking about any country, any region, what people are doing. Anything is going wrong in the ummah of Islam is because Muslims are not following Islam. And that's clear because the majority are away from the path of Sayyidina Zahra. That's the main thing. When you deny what happened to Sayyidina Zahra, when you want to cover it up, to defend some other people, that they killed the only daughter of Rasulullah, there is an agenda behind this. Never think that it just happened. That all of a sudden they thought, what should we do? Let's go, They didn't want that to happen. They knew that's horrible. They wanted to occupy everything that they occupied, by the way. That was the idea. But they knew if they go and do this, the shahadat of Zahra Salaam, they can't justify it. They knew that's the end of their life. That's why they wished that Amir al-Mu'minin would come peacefully to give the bay'ah, right? وَمَكَرُوا مَكَرَ اللَّهُ وَاللَّهُ خَيْرُ الْمَاكِرِينَ. You want to have a plan? Go against Allah, He knows how to do it. Maybe in Karbala, they didn't want to kill Ali Asghar alayhi salatu wasalam. Because they know that up until the end of this universe, no one can justify why did you kill Ali Asghar then? You heard the news, but they're still doing the same thing, you know? There are a lot of harm right now. Did you hear me in Wahhabi and Sunni Arabia, what they did today? What was that a few days ago, right? They cut the row of this, how old was he? 13?
6 years old.
6 years old. MashaAllah, generation is continuing. The same thing that happened in Karbala is going. Remember in no other lectures I told you one thing. I said Imam Hussein did not stand in front of Yazid. He stood in front of the culture that comes from Yazid. And that culture is still going on. And that's the proof. And that's the proof. Those who are away from the path of Zahra Salaam, going to our traditions. Rasulullah said himself, where we should go anywhere else. If you get away from these two things, Kitab Allah wa Itarati, you're going to go astray. No matter how many rakat of salat you read, you say, no matter how many ayat of Quran you recite, if you are away from these two, you are going astray. And wallahi, you will not find the path. You won't find the path. If you go away from the house of Zahra Salaam, you won't find the path. This is Rasulullah. This is in the books of Shia and Sunnis. We're not talking about those internal Shia things yet. We're talking about the tafasir of Ahl Sunnah, that they're saying Rasulullah every day that he is living, going to masjid, stand in front of the door of the house of Zahra, the same door that they burned it out, the same door, by the way, you know, they set it in blood and fire. He's standing, he said, Assalamu alaikum ya ahla bayti. إِنَّمَا يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ لِيَذْهَبَ عَنْكُمُ الرِّجْسَ أَهْلَ الْبَيْتِ. You are the one, you are the purest. And they put the purest one between the wall and the door. We can't forget about this. We're not, I said that before as well, we're not in the history. We're talking about our current time. The track of Islam, the train of Islam is on the right track, and you change it towards the wrong way. And you're saying, by the way, when we changed it, that was a historical discussion. What is going on with you today? What do you mean it's historical things? You changed the whole path, and you said, okay, forget about what happened at that time. You know the discussion, what they say. What happened at that time is gone. Don't talk about this anymore. It's important what you're doing today. But if I'm in the wrong direction, I was going to go to Sacramento, I'm going to somewhere else. What do you mean it did pass? It's in the current time. I'm in the wrong direction. I'm in the wrong destination. And one thing is left here. What are we supposed to do now? How can we move this? How can we help the whole path of Islam? Wallahi is an obligation. Number one on our shoulders, myself and my colleagues, before any of you guys, and then every single of you are sitting here. It's an honor for you, by the way. The most important religion, Islam. Only 124,000 prophets. Imagine how many shaheed in Islam we have. Not in Islam. All those 124,000 prophets. How many shaheed they had from the beginning? Huh? How many wali they had? How many people been sacrificed for the sake of the concept of Tawheed and Nubuwwah until me and you today? Because you know, they completed the whole concept of religions all the way to Islam, so that was it. How many people being sacrificed and shaheed for me and you today sit down here? We have Quran in our hands. And then our children don't know Quran. And then I can't feed them beside the Quran. I can read Spanish and English and Urdu and Farsi, but I did not. My children know how to put the wires together to make the robot, but they don't know how to put things together to have the ethics of a human. know how to, but they don't know what Islam is saying as a human being. What are your obligation and responsibilities? Then I'm talking about myself. The day of judgment, I'm going to stand up and answer all those shuhada. What did I do? Why did I do this way? When you say we're proud of being Muslim because of all these topics here, men and women, this was, by the way, it was very short discussion about women in Islam. Very short discussion. Like I said, I can't even say some other things. I'm just ashamed of saying that what's going on in the whole world, what they're doing, what they did. I want to say something. I don't want to talk about this. We're not ready for that topic yet. But very quickly, I want to pass it. If inshallah you get it, get it. At that time, we had slavery. Physically, there was enslaving a lot of people. We still have modern slavery. And the main targets are who? Ladies. Then, what I have to see that I have the honor come to the majlis of the most important lady, the mother of our imams and our beat. And those, all of them, right now, they have the same feeling that you're copying right now, being sad in the musibah of their mother, Zahra. But after this musibah, mashallah, you comes, you respect Zahra. This is supposed to be, the center is named after Sayyidah Zahra. Islamic center, amazing. I'm so glad, mashallah. But what is expectation, or what are the expectations of Sayyidah Zahra from us tonight? That's my whole point. I'm talking about myself, you talk and you think about yourself. Tonight that I want to cry for Sayyidah Zahra and the masahib of Zahra, in the middle of my tears and crying for the masahib of her, what are the expectations that she has? What is she asking me to do? A lot of people, maybe we're standing in the middle of the alleys of Medina. They saw that they are beating Zahra sallallahu alayha. They look and they were sad. Yeah, no, they shouldn't do it. But they didn't do anything about it. They didn't take any action to fix it. It's not about I start feeling sad about Zahra. That's amazing. But that shouldn't be the end. It should be its beginning. It should end with a promise. It should end with a decision. It should end with something that would make a revolution within me and my family. The ajr of Risalat of Nabi of Islam, Rasul of Islam, that was not to slap the daughter of Rasulullah. I think everyone agrees with that. The ajr of this Risalat was not that. To put the daughter of Rasulullah between the wall and the door. Let me ask you a question. Ladies, they can relate to what I'm going to say more. If you see a lady who's 6 months pregnant, if you see that she's trapping and she's falling down right now, probably all of us will go to help her, you know that. It's different. It's just a regular lady or the one who is pregnant. It's different. We all know it's different. The husband of that lady is more careful with the lady who is pregnant compared to others. And you know, ladies know better. You know, 6 months having the baby in your womb, you're already so attached to your baby. You know that. It is so difficult. Anything happened to your baby. Zahra salamullah alayha. I'm going to narrate, you close your eyes and go to the house of Amir al-Mu'minin. How about that? Huh? I know, we know that they destroyed the house of Ali, but close your eyes. Your heart is the haram of Amir al-Mu'minin and Zahra. He knocked that mal'un on the door. Ya Ali, come out. It's been few times now that he comes to the door. It was not just the first time. Zahra salamullah alayha went to say, what do you want from us? You left the body of Rasulullah on the ground.
And now what are you going to ask from us? Leave us alone with the musibat of my father Rasulullah. It was the moment that Zahra is close to the door and that Mal'un kicked the door that was already burning. If you want to kick the door, don't do that when a pregnant lady is there, when Mohsen is there. And just imagine when Zahra, when the door hit her, when she said, Ya Fazza Tukhuzini, Fazza, come and help me, Fazza. Fazza, they killed my Mohsen. Imagine when Amir al-Mu'minin, he was inside. When Ali, he heard the voice of Zahra, Fazza, help me. Allah knows how Ali went out of the house to help his wife Zahra. Ya Zahra. Assalamu alaikum ya فاطمة الزهراء يا بنت رسول الله. Just think about the house of Amir al-Mu'mineen. They took Amir al-Mu'mineen, they put him in chain. A'udhu billah. They are pulling Amir al-Mu'mineen to masjid. Zahra behind Amir al-Mu'mineen. Where are you taking my husband? Ali, do not do it. Zahra, he is holding the dress, the clothing of Amir al-Mu'mineen. That's Mal'un, he ordered his slave Qunfuz. Don't you see the hands of Zahra? Cut the hands of Zahra when he hit the hands of Zahra with the collar of the sword. And Imam Sadiq said, وَكَانَ سَبَبُ فَاتِحَةً. And the reason of the shahadat of Abu Mother and Qunfuz and Mawla Filan, that the slave of that Mal'un, like Zahra bin Ali said, he hit the arm of Abu Mother with the cover of the sword. Qunfuz, you don't have to kill Zahra this way. She already got hit behind the whole door and the wall. Amir al-Mu'mineen, I'm going to inshallah wrap it up and we go to Mother inshallah. This is Amir al-Mu'mineen. He's the one who pulled out the door of Khaybar. He's the most famous warrior in Arab. Everybody knows that. When he heard the khabar and the news of the shahadat of Zahra, they said Amir al-Mu'mineen, he ran towards the house. He fell down a few times on his face on the ground. The only news Ali cannot tolerate is to hear that his wife is not going to be with him in this dunya anymore. That is why when Ali is washing the body of Zahra salamullah alayha, he already ordered anyone, children. Just imagine Imam Hassan, probably 6 years old, Imam Hussein 4 or 5 years old, Zainab Kulsum, younger one. They're standing and seeing that the father is washing the body of their mother. Amir al-Mu'mineen, he told them, if you want to cry, cry quietly. All of a sudden, Asma said, I thought when Ali was washing the arm of Zahra, he started crying out loud. He put his head on the wall, against the wall. He started crying out loud, Ya Ali, what happened? Asma, I just touched the arm of Zahra. Amir al-Mu'mineen says, alright, that's the end. The children of Zahra, if you want to say without and goodbye to your mother, come right now. Hassan on one side of mother. They said the band of the coffin is not opening. Zahra's hands are out. Hassan on one side, Hussein on the other side. I don't know, Zainab al-Kulsum on some side. They're saying goodbye. The nida comes from the sky. Ya Ali, take the children away from Zahra. Angel of the sky cannot tolerate this moment anymore. I just want you to look at the heart of Ali. Up until Zahra was alive, they didn't respect Amir al-Mu'mineen. Imagine after the shahadat of Zahra, how hard it was for Amir al-Mu'mineen when he put the body of Zahra on the ground. And when Amir al-Mu'mineen came back to the house, I don't know, I'm going to imagine it this way. When he entered the house, on one corner, Hussein is sitting without mother. They're all little children, I told you. Hassan ibn Ali on one corner. Baby Zainab sallallahu alayha on the janabaz of mother. It was the use, every time Zahra sallallahu alayha, she was combing the hair of Zainab after Salat. And now Zainab with the janabaz of mother. السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء يا بنت رسول الله السلام عليك يا أيتها المظلومة المغصوبة حقها Our salam to you يا زهراء the one that they forced and they took your right away from you. ألا لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون. إن شاء الله few down إن شاء الله more time. اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج اللهم عجل مولانا الفرج والعافية والناصر ومد في عمره الشريف. يا الله يا رحمن يا رحيم بحق الزهراء hasten in the door of our Imam Ya Mahdi. Ya Allah Ya Rahman Ya Rahim, give us tawfiq to be among the true followers of our Imam. Ya Allah, help our youth, make them successful in dunya wal akhirah. Remove all obstacles towards the marriage. Ya Allah, do not let anyone from us and our generations against the powerful path of Zahra. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, anyone who is intentionally hurt Islam and Muslims, then their evil back to themselves. Give the hajat of these brothers and sisters who are for the respect of the Majlis of Zahra, that in the Majlis of Zahra, give them all the khair hajat. Ya Allah, some of these ladies and brothers and ladies, they have some hajat, probably they can't tell the closest one. You know what is going on in their hearts. For the sake of Zahra, Ya Allah, give them all the khair hajat at the moment. Those who are secure and those who passed away, and reward out of this Majlis of Rasul, inshallah, Mu'tamasa.
Ya Hussein, 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 Ya Hussein.